Shravana Nakshatra is Altair, which is the brightest star in the constellation Aquila. To map it to its exact astrological coordinates, it's from 10 degrees Capricorn to 23 degrees 20 minutes Capricorn on a sidereal scale, which is currently equivalent to 14 degrees 6 minutes of Aquarius to 27 degrees 26 minutes of Aquarius on the tropical scale. If you have something within that range of degrees, you have something in the nakshatra of Shravana. Now, the word Shravana means hearing, and people quickly jump to interpret the nakshatra to mean something about learning or listening, something like that. And that's certainly true. But if you jump straight to that, then you miss a lot of the interesting things that come along the way first before you get there. So although the application of the word Shravana is to indicate hearing, the actual etymology of it begins with the concept of flowing or movement. The way you get from flowing to hearing is that hearing is the method of transferring information. Actually, to get the full Vedic meaning of the word Shravana, the translation hearing is a bit insufficient. You have to mix it also with the concept of education. Shravana is about education, which is done by hearing. You have to hear. You have to either read what was written in a book or hear what your teacher says or hear something on a video on YouTube. You got to hear in order to get information transferred into you. So it's the movement of information is called Shravana. When you know that the root of the concept of education and hearing is movement or transference, then it's easy to understand why the Vedas classify Shravana Nakshatra as a Chala Nakshatra, a movement-oriented nakshatra. It's very good for things that need quickness or need skill in how the movement is applied. So this Shravana Nakshatra, it produces people that really know how to move, or they're very, very quick. A famous example of a Shravana Nakshatra moon is Muhammad Ali. The symbols for Shravana Nakshatra are an ear or 3 footprints. The ear is pretty obvious, but the 3 footprints, what's that all about? Well, one thing is it's the 3 stars. They actually make 3 footprints in the sky. The other thing is that footprints mean movement. You're taking steps, you're moving. So it's a star for movement. But also, this symbol of 3 footsteps ties into the devata, the deity of Shravana Nakshatra, who is Vishnu. Vishnu, the word itself indicates the being who is everywhere, the one who has pervaded everything, or the one who is the essence of everything, the one who is everywhere. Because Vishnu is the one who is everywhere, he's associated with movement, and that's why out of your 10 senses, each sense has a presiding deity who represents the ability that that sense possesses. Vishnu is the deity for feet and movement. That's why Shravana Nakshatra has 3 footsteps and is about movement and is the nakshatra of Vishnu. Now Vishnu also has a famous episode of taking 3 monumental footsteps, and that's another reason why there's these 3 footsteps. So I'll tell you this story real quickly. As usual, Indra lost his paradise again and went to Vishnu for help. Vishnu became Indra's younger brother, Indranuja, and he was a scholar and a dwarf. So that also shows you that Shravana is associated with intellect, okay, because he's a scholar. But this is the more interesting part for me right now is this dwarf then went to Bali, this anti-god who had taken paradise from Indra, and said, I'm a scholar, can you give me some charity? And Bali said, of course, anything you want. Vishnu, as this little dwarf, said, I just need 3 steps, just 3 steps, enough land that I can cover in 3 steps. And the king said, are you crazy? I'm a king. I just took over paradise. I can give you anything. You just want 3 steps of land? And then this dwarf, Vishnu, said, yes, just 3. And then Bali said, okay. There's a lot of interesting drama right here, right before he says okay. His guru tries to tell him not to and all that. His guru is Shukracharya, Venus. But then he gives Vishnu, who's hidden as this dwarf, disguised as this dwarf, he gives him the 3 steps of land, and then Vishnu takes his first stride becomes huge and he covers the entire earth. Then with the second stride, he covers all of space. And then with his third stride, he has no place to put it. And then the Bali Maharaj says, put it on my head, take me. So this is a lovely story about Trivikrama, Vishnu, who takes 3 heroic or amazing steps. And that's why Shravana Nakshatra is symbolized by these 3 steps. That's another reason why. It's also interesting that this modern constellation, Aquila, is an eagle. And Vishnu rides on Garuda, who is the divine eagle. He sits on Garuda's back. That's also pretty interesting. Now, of course, Shravana is also about scholarship. So that's why you have the idea of hearing, education, an ear, receiving knowledge. So Shravana Nakshatra is the nakshatra of education. It's very good for movement but it's very good for transferring things. It's good for transferring things, moving things around, getting information back and forth. So it's good for receiving education and giving education. This also ties into why Vishnu is the deity, because Vishnu is the originator of the Veda. The Veda comes from Vishnu's breath, which means from his effortless words. The Veda are called Shruti. That which is the object for Shravana is Shruti. The thing that you hear is Shruti, and the process of hearing is Shravana. So Vishnu, the source of the Shruti, is certainly the Devata for Shravana Nakshatra, who's the nakshatra of hearing. And one more word on why this term Vishnu means he who is everywhere. What is the thing which is everywhere? It's the experiencer, it's the knower. Perception is the basis of reality. Reality can't exist without somebody to perceive it as real. Vishnu is the original consciousness, the consciousness from which all other consciousness comes. Consciousness is the thing which is the basis for everything else. Everything is in consciousness. That's why consciousness is Vishnu. It is the substrate. It's the foundation for everything else. And so that's why this nakshatra is good for movement, because it's simultaneously everywhere in all places. That's why Vishnu is the devata of movement and locomotion and the feet. So hopefully you have a better understanding of Vishnu now and of Shravana Nakshatra. Shravana Nakshatra is all about movement, especially transferring things back and forth. So like Muhammad Ali was really good at moving around. Dance like a butterfly, sting like a bee. It's also about hearing and words. Muhammad Ali could come up with something like that phrase, dance like a butterfly, sting like a bee. It's really good with words. Words are the object of hearing. So movement, transferring things, words, the way that things get transferred back and forth, the way that ideas get transferred back and forth, and the actual process of hearing and learning. Those are the 3 things that this nakshatra Shravana is excellent at.